Welcome to another episode of Insects for Fun. And fun we'll have in today's listener request from New Zealand. Today we will learn about some New Zealand history as well as all things lemon borer, including their history. The lemon tree borer, scientifically known as Oemona hirta, is part of the family Cerambycidae, better known as longhorn beetles. The genus Oemona doesn't have a widely known meaning, but hirta is Latin for hairy or bristly, possibly referring to fine textures on the beetle's body. There are currently 4 known species, which leaves me and others to believe that there could very well be more out there. Like many beetles, the lemon tree borer goes through complete metamorphosis: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. But it's the larval stage that does all the damage. The adult beetles are about 2 centimeters long, slender, and brownish with long antennae. They emerge in the summer months and only live for the duration of the season or less. It seems that mating directly results in a shorter lifespan, with many dying soon after. They don't live long, but in that short time, they find a mate, lay eggs, and keep the cycle going, which is really all they need to do. When it comes to their mating behaviors, these beetles, much like other longhorns, don't actually rely on pheromones to find mates. The males wander around areas which are good for laying eggs, and tend to find females here. There's no elaborate pre-courtship ritual, but males tend to stick around and guard the female for up to 20 minutes or so after they finish pairing. This is to ensure they are the only father by preventing other males from getting close. As for how many eggs a female can lay, it seems that they can lay around 50 total in their life, but these are spread across many trees, with most trees having only 1 or 2 larvae. Females lay their eggs on the bark of host trees, and when those eggs hatch, the larvae burrow straight into the wood. Once they're in, they stay for up to 2 years, tunneling through the tree's vascular system and weakening it from within. How long they actually spend in a tree varies on the environment, with better conditions resulting in faster growth. The thing is, the tree might not show symptoms right away, so you can't really know for sure if you've got these borers in your trees until it's a bit late in the game. Over time, branches weaken, leaves yellow, and eventually entire limbs can snap off, which is what makes them a problem to citrus growers. These larvae have been found in other countries, hiding in exported plants from New Zealand. One popular export that seems to be a culprit is wisteria. But this leads me to an interesting fact. You see, these beetles didn't even start as a citrus pest. They're generalists, which feed on a variety of host trees. More than 40 genera ranging from fruit trees to conifers. They got the common name lemon borer after they became a problem to citrus farmers. Actually, before the European settlers 150 years ago, these beetles only fed on native plants. The fact this beetle can adapt to so many different host plants makes it a real threat to countries where it's currently not found, especially Australia, which shouldn't need an explanation. However, this beetle might also be really bad news for other citrus growing regions, including California and parts of South America. Fun fact: citrus farming didn't start in New Zealand until 1819, and the first lemon borer to be described was before that, in 1775, by a Danish naturalist known as Fabricius. Lemon tree borers spend the winter months in their tunnels, and it is during their second winter when the larvae reach full size. They pupate within the tunnels they've made during their second winter, and then by early summer crawl out as new adults. These adults are mostly nocturnal, and they feed on nectar and pollen from flowers, which does indeed make them pollinators. Now, up to now, I've only referred to these beetles as lemon borers, but they actually have a couple other common names, like whistling beetle and singing beetle. Here's why. These beetles, when disturbed, will create a raspy squeaking sound by rubbing their head and thorax together. I've been trying to find videos of this behavior for an audio sample, but unfortunately I've come up short. If anyone has any video footage and you want to share it to the IG page, then please DM me. The adult beetles fall prey to birds, reptiles, mantids, other predatory arthropods like spiders, etc. But because they are only available as adults for a short window of time and procreate pretty fast, they don't suffer heavy losses. The larvae, on the other hand, are preyed upon by a parasitoid wasp. Yep, there truly is no escaping these insect xenomorphs. The particular wasp is a member of the family Ichneumonidae, and the species is Xanthocryptis novozelandicus. This wasp is found in New Zealand, Australia, and New Guinea. Female wasps hunt down larvae of longhorn beetles in trees and use their long ovipositor to pierce them through the tree. How they find these beetles is up for debate, but they apparently use visual cues on trees to locate a host, and it's theorized that they can further pinpoint the exact location using their long antennae. The wasps are actively on the hunt through March and prefer second-year larvae of lemon tree borers because they are larger. Now, before we end this episode, I have one last fun bit of information for you. While the lemon tree borer isn't steeped in rich mythology, its effects on trees have definitely made it a point of frustration for New Zealand gardeners. There's an old New Zealand saying, quote, "A weak tree welcomes the borer," unquote. Essentially, if a tree is already struggling, it's an open invitation for these pests. And that's actually good advice. Healthy trees with strong immune systems are much less likely to suffer from severe infestations. In Maori traditions, which are the native New Zealand people, certain insects are seen as messengers or omens. While the lemon tree borer doesn't have a strong mythos, its damage to native trees likely made it a sign of weakness or imbalance in the environment. And of course, there's the classic superstition: if you hear wood cracking in the night, some believe it's spirits making their presence known. But if you've got citrus trees, it might just be the lemon tree borer larvae chewing away. Thanks again for listening, and if you enjoy the show, please go rate the podcast on whatever platform you listen. If you want to further support the program, go check out the Patreon, where I upload bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, and vlogs. Thanks again, and you'll hear from me next week.